Oh, well, what a week it is for West Ham. Cheers. Welcome back to West Ham Unofficial. Hope you are all well. Changed my scenery for today's Monday morning chat. I didn't have a chance to do it last week on the way back from Leicester, of course, and didn't do it last week. But I mean, this week, it needs no introduction, does it? Final week, 2 days to go. Let's go and make history. As Prague awaits, many fans are already making their trip over to the Czech Republic, over to the Eden Arena, and over, of course, to Prague with around 6,000 tickets and thousands more just, taking the trip over to simply have the experience, to have the, hopefully to have the memories of us going on and winning a European trophy. I mean, there's nothing else really to talk about, is there? Apart from this final, the nerves are really starting to kick in as the sun comes up on this Monday morning. We've got a hell of a week ahead of us, a bag full of nerves until Wednesday at 8 o'clock, where we all sit down, stand up, or whatever you want to do to watch the final, and maybe with a cushion in hand, not being quite able to watch it. It's up to you, but yeah, I just know that my mental state might be a little bit nervy come Wednesday, but we all know, and we're all incredibly proud of this bunch of players. We haven't had the best of seasons. That is, that goes without saying. We've been pretty poor this season. The Conference League has been our saving grace. It's been our only, sort of light of positivity through the majority of this season. And to now top it off and hopefully go on and win it would be absolutely exceptional. It would be amazing for David Moyes to enter a very small category of managers, British English managers, to go and win a European trophy, and he'd love to enter that very short list. And what an incentive to have for him and these players as well. Many would have never played in a final before. Some of the elite ones have, of course. Declan Rice obviously played in the Euro final a couple of years ago. A few others have played in different finals, maybe Paqueta, I'm not too sure, and maybe a couple of other ones as well. But for many players, it's going to be their first and maybe their last final as a footballer. And what a chance to go out. What the sort of incentive is for this game, to go up there, to put everything onto that pitch, to leave nothing out there, and to go and win this football match and go and win the trophy for the fans, for the club, for yourself, for your career, for everybody involved, to everybody that's helped any of these players. This is an absolutely monumental game. I don't care about the competition. I don't care if it's a third-rate European competition. To us, it's a trophy. And if we can go and win it, then, all you've got to say to those players is just look at those celebrations that we gave them after the Alkmaar win. Take them, times it by 10 and extend it for a week, because honestly the East End of London will be absolutely on fire, metaphorically, of course, and in Prague they will have a party out there if they win, and they'll come back to a hero's welcome. I can just imagine the bus parade going through East London with Declan Rice clinching that trophy, and that's what we want as well. That's the potential send-off that we could provide to Declan Rice here, is for him to lift a European trophy, something that a select very few West Ham captains have done in their career. Just 2 or 3, I think, have in the existence of our football club, have been a captain and lifted a European trophy wearing claret and blue. I mean, we're going to be wearing that horrific third shirt, but you get what I mean. You get what I mean. So, I mean, the sort of incentive that I've outlined there, that should be enough. And just do your best, West Ham. That's all we ask for. Leave everything out there, put in 110%, and then whatever happens, we'll be proud of you. We'll be proud of that team, and just hopefully, I think we've got a very good chance of bringing home that trophy. That's no disrespect to a very good and well-established Italian side in Fiorentina. There is some pretty decent form, but having said that, anything can happen in a final, any result. There's no freak result in a final, because it's 90 minutes, 120 at an absolute maximum, maybe a couple of penalties chucked in for good measure at the end as well, hopefully, and fingers crossed that doesn't happen. But if push comes to shove, then it will have to happen, of course. Penalty shootout, maybe not. I think all our nerves would have been pushed over breaking point if we get to that stage. And we've just got to go out there with confidence that we can win it. if they do take the lead, they're going to bring out every single time wasting and game management trick in the book. They're an Italian side. There's going to be dark arts, of course there is, but let's pile the pressure onto them. Let's take an early lead. Let's shut their fans up down the other end of the pitch, and let's have a party at our end, whatever happens. Let's do anything and everything we can to keep Fiorentina quite early on, to take control of the game early on, to maybe get a goal, to get ourselves in front, to give ourselves the confidence to go on and win the tie and take home and and bring back the Conference League trophy for all the West Ham fans that have waited decades, years, of course, decades longer than that to see us lift a European trophy. Do it for the fans, boys. Do it for the fans. And of course, I haven't discussed on the channel the Antonio incident about going on that podcast. I don't want to touch on it too much, but I feel like I have to because I haven't really on the channel. I mean, it's bad timing. I don't know whether, I don't know when that podcast was filmed, but I've got a feeling it might have been stitched up with the timing that it was, they thought the best time to get the most views and clicks out of it would probably be to release that sort of bombshell that he gave the Filthy Fellas podcast. And it was best to release it a couple of days ago. And to be fair, it got the whole fan base going. I'm a fan of Antonio. I probably like Antonio a lot more than the next West Ham fan you'll speak to. I think the timing of it's poor. Hopefully it hasn't upset the dressing room too much. And if Scamacca's fit, I don't care. Antonio starts his football match. Scamacca hasn't started a game in absolutely ages. Antonio starts his football match if he's fit. I don't care what anyone says. It has to be Mikel Antonio. That is non-negotiable. Fiorentina wouldn't have faced many strikers like a Mikel Antonio. If you get Paqueta, playing off him, or another player, whoever it is, getting close to him, giving him the ball, taking it down, controlling it, and playing off him, they wouldn't have contended with a physical, aggressive striker. If Antonio can get to his best, then I don't think they'll know how to deal with him. And then that's a massive plus we can take into it. There's many factors here, of course. We're in Prague. We're in Souček and Soufal's home stadium. They'll know this place better than any of those players on that pitch. It's sentimental to them as well, returning to their home country, to their home team, to their home stadium, of course. So there's that added element to it as well. I just hope the nerves don't get too much for us. Of course, it's a huge occasion. We're not denying that. I'm flipping nervous. So God knows what those players are thinking of. But hopefully the occasion doesn't get too much for these players. This is the time where players should stand up and be counted. Declan Rice has seen some and has had to experience the worst possible feeling in a final, losing a final on penalties with England back a couple of years ago. He'll want to reverse that now. He'll want to lift that trophy with West Ham, regardless of if it's his last game in a West Ham shirt. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that after. Forget the Declan Rice saga and where's he going? Bayern Munich, City, Arsenal, wherever, I don't care. His focus is on West Ham, and that's been widely reported. So let's focus on West Ham. And I'm sure Declan Rice is focusing on lifting that trophy for the club. And I mean, I don't blame him. And if he does leave on those terms of winning a trophy, then what an absolute club legend he'll be. Mark Noble, just a little bit too short last season, couldn't quite get over the line, and there wasn't a fairy tale there, but he's still in the club. He's sporting director. There can still be that fairy tale with Declan Rice and Martin Noble at this football club. There's 2 days to go. I'm getting increasingly more nervous the more I talk about this game, and I just hope that we can go and get the job done. Moyes has got plenty of conundrums and decisions to make over the next few days, of course. Soufal or Kera, Creswell or Emerson. There's plenty of discussions to be made. Fornals or Ben Rama is another one. Moyes, I wouldn't want to be doing your job over the next few days, finalising the details of his tactics, of his starting lineup, and hopefully his plan for us to go and win this little match. His tactics have been widely dismissed and widely criticised this season, but let's hope that Moyes gets this one right. Let's hope he sets up right. I don't know how that setup looks like, but the benefit of hindsight will, of course, be given to us when that full-time whistle goes. There'll hopefully be ecstasy in Prague, in East London, in my house, and, of course, in many West Ham fans' house across the country and across the world. Let's do this. Do this for the fans, Moyes, players, backroom staff. We witnessed and we had to experience the ultimate sort of disappointment. We had to look as Frankfurt went mental as they got through to the final. We got past this stage now. We've got past the semi-final sort of stumbling block. And we don't want to be the ones hurting after this final. We want to be the ones celebrating. We want to end this pretty dire season on a high. Just imagine if you look at this season on paper, if we finish 14th, which we have, and win the Europa Conference League, many fans would class that as a brilliant season for West Ham. Many people at the start of this season said, I'd take survival and winning this competition. And that's just exactly what we could get, what we could receive come Wednesday at about 10 o'clock, maybe 11 o'clock if it goes extra time. But the bags of nerves are now, of course, loads of people heading out to Prague. Safe travels to anyone that's watching this who is yet to make their way over to Prague. I've seen some crazy routes people are taking. Some people have got the direct flights from Stansted and Gatwick over to Prague. Some people are driving a bit and flying, or flying and training it a little bit further through, of course, Europe. But safe travels to everyone. Now I'm going to go off and do a couple of exams today. So thank you very much indeed, everybody, for watching. Drop a like on the video and subscribe to West Ham Unofficial if you are new. Cheers. I mean, there's tea in this, but I think I've got a feeling that there's a few West Ham fans that'll be drinking a fair few stronger beverages over the next few days, whether it's in London or in Prague. Have a great time, and West Ham fans, enjoy this. It's what it's all about. We've worked hard to get to this final. We've won a lot of football matches, albeit against poor opponents, to get to this point. Let's enjoy this now, and hopefully the enjoyment can be increased by winning. But what a week we've got ahead. Enjoy, if you can, your week. And from me, come on, you Irons. We'll see you on Wednesday, where hopefully West Ham make history. See you soon. Come on, you Irons. Come on, West Ham.